Good afternoon. The city manager has done an excellent job as far as explaining the two public safety millages that will be coming up on the ballots this fall. I just kind of want to give you some insight from the director's perspective, since I had the honor of heading up the public safety department. Currently, we have 50 sworn officers, and I believe most of our residents are aware that we do three functions. We do the police, we do the fire, we do the EMS. So it's quite a bit of savings that the city actually realizes by combining those three services as opposed to having three separate entities, a police department, then you'd have a fire department, and then now you have EMS that would actually have to respond and be its own entity as well. Now my job as the public safety director is to obviously look at the resources that we have allocated and to provide you the best possible services that are available. I think we do that at a high level. I've always touted the fact that the public safety department has one of the best agencies in the country, and I still stand firmly behind that opinion. With the financial resources constantly shrinking, it's becoming increasingly difficult, and it's very challenging to be able to deliver the service that we've promised. One of the things that we've always kind of taken a lot of pride in is the fact that we provide quick, fast service. Our response time is second to none, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And the city manager was talking about in 2012, said that the city went through some financial troubles and the public safety department felt a big brunt of that. We experienced, like he said as well, 15 positions that were eliminated from our department. And in doing that, I had to sit back and take a look as far as how were we going to restructure the public safety department so that I could actually be able to deliver the services that our residents have become accustomed to. And this meant, quite frankly, everyone had to do more. You know, duties and assignments had to be picked up. Some duties and assignments were doubled. In some instances, wages and benefits were cut. And since that time, though, we fought our way back. We're still, like I said, we're at 50 sworn. True, we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. The support that the residents have given us over the years has been greatly appreciated and desperately needed. It's absolutely critical that the two public safety millages that appear on the ballot for this fall pass in order for the public safety department to continue to provide the services that, like I said before, you become accustomed. I'm not suggesting either way how you vote, yes or no, but just want to give you some insight and perspective and just simply stating the facts. And in saying that, too, I want to take a moment and just give you a little perspective as far as where the department is. Our focus has and always will be on community relationships, strengthening and reinforcing those relationships bond while we're broadening our reach in the community. Fighting crime, catching the bad guys is obviously a big part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. But one of the big parts of what we do as well is developing and nurturing relationships within the community, and this especially starts with our youth. During this early and their formative years obviously has a big impact, and in my opinion it pays dividends, 100-fold. We want to really get into our pre-K, our elementary, some of our nursery schools, and some of the other learning institutions to really be able to have that effect just resonate throughout the community. To a large degree, our community resource officer serves as a strong connector between the community and the public safety department. In my opinion, this position is as vitally important as our patrol position, especially in the social climate that we're policing in right now. Prior to, June, I believe, 26, we had one community resource officer, and that officer is Devin Benson. You may be familiar with Devin Benson. He's in the community. He's everywhere. One of the challenges that we face with the one community resource officer is that he's limited in what he can actually do. Now, Devin is in charge of we have 3 school districts in Oak Park. We have the Oak Park School District, Ferndale School District, we have the Berkeley School District. In addition to those 3 school districts, we also have our Jewish schools, we have our Montessori schools, we have our pre-K, we have our nursery schools as well. So just trying to get a community resource officer and even maybe at one grade level on a consistent basis to go and have these contacts and positive relationships with our youth can be extremely difficult. In addition to the schools, we have several block clubs that the community resource officer is responsible for, our vehicle fleet. We have block picnics. Also, our community resource officer manages 15 crossing guards. He manages our volunteer parking program as well. They mediate family and community issues. And like I said, with one person trying to spread them off throughout those so many different facets is difficult. June 26th, we were able to add an additional community resource officer who's Robert Cook. And I think the community is really going to feel the impact of that second community resource officer here, if they haven't already felt it, very soon. So I'm very excited about the additional position there, and I'm hoping that our residents will see that impact as well. One of our community outreach projects that we have undertaken is our ice cream truck. It was very popular. This is our second year that we have rolled out our ice cream truck. One of the requests that we received the first year was that we vary the hours of the schedule. For the most part, last time we were between business hours between 8 and 5. We've adjusted some schedules and shifts, so now you'll see the ice cream truck coming through in the afternoons and in the evening hours. Sometimes after mom and dad, they come home, the kids come home from camp or different jobs or wherever they are, have dinner. You're sitting on the porch and, hey, you want an ice cream. So we're making that adjustment to actually get the ice cream truck down throughout the neighborhoods during those times. We show up at various community events. However, we're not able to accommodate a lot of the block parties and a lot of the other social events that some of our residents have been requesting. And the ice cream truck is not just to provide a cool, refreshing treat. It's to give the residents and our officers an opportunity to talk and engage and get to know each other better and continue to build those relationships. We like to put a face with the badge. Sometimes, giving someone an ice cream and stopping and having a conversation with them for a brief moment or two may be the only contact that they have with a law enforcement officer. And, I've always said, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So we want to make sure that that first impression is a positive one, and having the ice cream truck to use at our advantage, I think, is a great opportunity. So we will continue to do that. I just want to take a minute to give Prairie Farms a sincere thank you. They are a partner in the ice cream truck adventure. They are donating 300 units per week at no charge to the City of Oak Park for us to be able to continue this venture. And I can just tell you, at the 4th of July parade, we had our ice cream truck in the 4th of July parade, and they staged up at just 9 and McLean right there at the O'Reillys. And I had my community resource officers inside the truck, and we had actually 450 units of ice cream. And before we left out of the parking lot here at O'Reilly's and started heading north on Coolidge, and before we got to Oak Park Boulevard, we were out. We were done. So we could have had 1,000 units and probably would not have had enough. But it was a nice, like I said, it was nice to have the truck out, and some people still were not aware of it. And it's just, mind-blowing to some people that, you'd have your officers out here patrolling and actually passing out ice cream at such a capacity. One of the other things that we want our residents to look forward to very soon is, we call it Coffee with a Cop. We will be setting up at various locations throughout the city, meaning restaurants, where we will be offering free coffee, and we will hopefully get that up on our websites and out through our social media, so our residents will be aware, and who's ever in a community at large, does not have to be just a resident, will be aware of where we're setting up and having coffee. And there's no format, there's no gimmick. It's just come in, have a cup of coffee. If you want to talk about sports, if there are issues that are concerning you in your neighborhood that you want to speak on, then come in and talk with an officer. I will be at those events as well. If there are things that you want to address specifically with me, then I'm there and I'm more than welcome to address those issues. A lot of times when my officers are out in the field, they get requests, or you want to, hey, where's the chief? We want to talk to the higher ups. A lot of times that happens when you have complaints. Not so much when you have the compliments. They want to know where the buck stops, and the buck stops and starts in my office. And I've tried to make myself very approachable since I've been in this position. I take every concern that our residents have 100% seriously, and want them to know that I'm approachable, and I want them to hear directly from me. So we are looking forward to that. Like I said, stay tuned. That'll be coming out really soon. Very quickly, we have a K-9 unit. Officer Mace is our K-9. We've had him for just about a year now. Officer Hodakowski is the handler. So that's Mace's dad. And Sergeant Joe Meyer actually oversees the K-9 program. One of the things that a lot of our residents are not aware of is that Mace is trained in obedience, tracking, narcotic detection, area search, building searches, suspect apprehension, handler protection, and one of the unique things is missing persons. Maybe you have some elderly relatives or some young kid that may suffer from a particular special need, dementia, autism, and the list goes on and on. Mace can be actually used and deploy him in those situations to help assist in those ways. We've had an opportunity this spring, right before school let out, to have Mace at all of our elementary schools in the city of Oak Park to give them a first-hand look at what Mace is actually capable of doing. The kids loved him. They had a chance to pet and play with him, and just kind of give them some insight. He's not some weapon that we use to deploy only in situations where we're trying to catch a bad guy, open a truck, sick the dog on him. That's quite the opposite. It is a community outreach tool, and like I said, the kids and the elderly, everybody loves Mace. Actually, Mace is probably the most popular officer here in the city of Oak Park, and that would even include he's more popular than the chief here. So it is what it is. A few more things, just real quickly. Our Citizens Academy is in its third year. It's doing extremely well. We've added Mace into that program, incorporated him into the Citizens Academy as well. One thing that we did this year with the last class was we actually took a homicide case that happened many years ago and gave our residents an opportunity to go through and dissect the homicide case and kind of sit in a detective's chair and kind of look at some of the evidence, clues, what would you do in this particular situation. They were able to read parts of the investigation and really gave them that kind of that CSI type feel where they were sitting there and they were really, working a case. So that was really great. So we're always looking to improve any of our programs, but that's just one of the things that we actually did to help tweak that program. And finally, our traffic enforcement detail. One of the number one complaints that we field on a daily basis, and not just here in Oak Park, but just throughout the southeast metropolitan area, or if you go anywhere in the country, I would be willing to bet that traffic complaints are the number one issue. Speeding motorists, they're blowing yield signs, they're drag racing, they're playing their music loud. There's just a litany of issues that come with the vehicular traffic. And thanks to our city manager, he allowed us the opportunity to add the traffic enforcement detail. Now, this is supplementing our manpower that we already have. So we're not taking our normal staffing and, deploying two of our, say, if we had 10 officers out on the road and putting them in a traffic detail capacity. This is actually an overtime detail that's specifically targeting, like I said, some of the obvious violations, the speeding motorists, the yield sign violators, the stop sign violators, and whatever else we may encounter. One of the things that I like to say is that we would prefer voluntary compliance. We're not looking to issue violations, but we are aggressively pursuing those people who blatantly disregard the motor vehicle code. So we could be in your neighborhood at any particular day. We have 6 miles of city blocks, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly where we're going to be. I just say, if you're abiding by all the traffic laws spelled out in the motor vehicle code, then you're not going to have an issue. But it's really having an impact, and we're very pleased. Our concern is that we want our residents, the people that use our community, to be able to travel safely throughout, whether they're in a vehicle or whether they're out for a stroll in the park with the kids and the family, whether you're taking a dog for a walk or whatever it may be. So, I will close, but I just wanted to say those are some of the things that are actually going on in your public safety department. The 2 public safety millages that we're looking at, like I said, are critical to the viability of our public safety department. And both millages are straight renewals. There are no tax increase, as the city manager stated as well. We've always appreciated the support that our residents have given us. And like I said, we're not here to tell you to vote yes or no, but just to kind of inform you so you can make educated decisions when you're at the polls. Just want to extend my sincere appreciation again to all the support that you've extended to our public safety family and to the city in general throughout the years. And if there's anything obviously that I can do, please do not hesitate to get in contact with me. God bless you. Thank you.